The TFSA is one of the best kept secrets in Canadian retirement planning, but most people aren't using it properly. In fact, I see the same 5 mistakes again and again, and they cost retirees real money and real taxes and benefits every single year. Stay tuned, because I'm going to show you exactly what those mistakes are and how to turn your TFSA into a tax-free retirement income machine. Hi, I'm Rob Tétrault, Senior Portfolio Manager and Investment Advisor here at Tetrault Wealth. Over the years, I've sat down with thousands of Canadians who want to protect their retirement income. And I can tell you, these mistakes show up in real portfolios all the time. So let's walk you through them one by one, and I'll show you the smarter way to use your TFSA. Mistake 1, over-contributing because CRA numbers are outdated. The first mistake is the over-contribution mistake, and it happens way more often than people realize because of how slow CRA is to update your TFSA contribution numbers. CRA usually doesn't report the new contribution room until July or sometimes even later. They have to wait to get all the contribution numbers from all the firms. So if you check in April, you won't see the updated numbers for the current year, and sometimes not even the prior year will be up to date, but it's real and it causes people to make honest mistakes. Let's say you maxed out your TFSA last year and in April you logged into CRA. The numbers haven't updated yet, so you're not sure, you don't remember, so you assume you've got another $7,000 of new contribution room available. You deposit the funds, but in reality, you've just over-contributed. CRA will then charge you 1% per month on the excess until it's fixed. That's $70 a month, every single month. And if you don't notice for 6 months, you're out $420. And all because their reporting was behind. So the lesson here is don't rely on CRA's spring numbers. Keep your own running tally of contributions and withdrawals across all your institutions and plan large withdrawals for December so the room comes back in January. And also, if you deal with a firm like ours, you don't have to worry about this because we take care of your contributions and we make sure you're not over-contributing every single year. That's the cleanest way to avoid nasty penalties. Mistake number 2, treating the TFSA like a savings account. Heck, it's right in there, it's in the name. So the second mistake is believing that a TFSA is nothing more than a glorified savings account. And it's not true. Too many Canadians still don't realize that you can hold stocks, bonds, ETFs, mutual funds, a full investment portfolio right in there, right in your TFSA. And banks don't help with this because they often advertise a TFSA rate, just like it's another savings product. So people end up showing up to the cashier and they end up getting cash or a GIC inside their TFSA. And here's why that's a problem. Let's say you're earning 2% in your TFSA in a savings account. You're barely keeping up with inflation. Meanwhile, your TFSA has the power to compound growth tax-free. It's a superpower. Let's say you've got 100 grand in a TFSA savings account at 1.5%. That's $1,500 a year tax-free. Not bad. If that same 100 grand was invested in a balanced portfolio earning, let's say 8%, that's $8,000 a year tax-free. Over 20 years, the difference is well into 6 figures. It's real retirement income that's often left right there on the table because Canadians don't know better. The lesson here, don't fall for the savings account label. Your TFSA is a full investment account. Use it to hold real investments, not just bank deposits. And if you're unsure how to do this, this is what we do. Go to speaktorob.com to book your no obligation consultation to chat about what to put in your TFSA or how to plan for your retirement. It's what we do. I always thought they should have named it a tax-free investment account. It would have been a lot easier had they named it tax-free investment account instead of tax-free savings account, but I digress. Use it to hold real investments, not just bank deposits, term deposits, GICs, or cash. And that brings us to the next mistake, because even when people know they can invest in their TFSA, many don't choose the right investments to make. The third mistake is not being strategic about what goes inside your TFSA. Now remember, your contribution room is limited. There's a finite number of room and you only get X many dollars every single year. Think of it as premium real estate. You don't want to waste this premium real estate on the wrong tenants. If you're young and you're growth oriented, your TFSA should hold a compounding engine of your portfolio. Things like stocks and growth ETFs with strong long-term potential. Every dollar of growth stays tax-free, and over decades, that is huge. You're much better off getting a compounding instrument that compounds at double digits than saving tax on a GIC that pays 2%. If you're more defensive, the same principle applies. Don't use up room with low yielding GICs or cash. Put your highest yielding fixed income instruments inside the TFSA. Something like a high yielding bond or private debt. That way, the interest that would normally be fully taxable is completely sheltered. Bottom line, you want the highest growth and the highest compounding effect inside of your TFSA. So the lesson here, treat your TFSA as premium space. Whether you're aggressive or conservative, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you put your highest growth or most tax inefficient investments inside, and always plan for liquidity. Don't lock yourself into something that you might need access to, because the TFSA also gives you liquidity in a rainy day fund type scenario. Mistake 4, ignoring TFSA withdrawals and retirement planning. The fourth mistake is forgetting to use the TFSA when planning withdrawals. Retirees often drain their RRSPs or their RIFs first, while the TFSA just sits there untouched. On the surface, that might feel like a smart idea, right? I'll save the tax-free account for later. But in practice, because of tax rates and specific Canadian tax rules, sometimes it can backfire. So here's why. Once your taxable income passes the OAS clawback threshold, which is about $93,000 in 2025, every dollar starts reducing your OAS benefit. So that's worth almost $9,000 a year. Money that can pay your groceries, your utilities, or maybe an extra trip or two. A single large RIF withdrawal or a big dividend year from a real estate investment or something can push you over that line. And that's where the TFSA can be a secret weapon. In the right circumstances, in the right situations, you could use it to minimize your tax impact and keep your OAS, not having it clawed back. TFSA withdrawals won't show up on your tax return. They don't push you into a higher tax bracket. They don't affect your old age security. So instead of pulling from a RIF to cover a new car, home project, or a vacation, depending on the situation, you could draw from the TFSA. Same lifestyle, but you keep your benefits and you avoid the unnecessary tax. So the lesson here, integrate the TFSA into your withdrawal plan. Use it to smooth taxable income and prevent spikes. Mistake number 5, neglecting estate planning for the TFSA. So the final mistake is not planning what happens to your TFSA when you die. Too many people either don't name a successor holder or they name their spouse as just the beneficiary instead. Might seem like a small detail, but that one detail can make all the difference. So if your spouse's name as a successor holder, the TFSA will roll over tax-free and continue under their name. All of your contribution room in your TFSA rolls over and your spouse now has all of that contribution room. If you've built a $500,000 TFSA, boom, your spouse now gets a $500,000 TFSA plus whatever they had before. So you could accumulate a large TFSA. But if they're just a beneficiary, the account actually collapses. It creates paperwork delays, and in some case, unexpected tax, and you can't do the rollover. I've seen families lose thousands because of one word on a form or misunderstanding how something works, or an investment advisor that plain didn't know. Estate planning isn't just about wills and trusts. It's about making sure you're registered, you're non-registered, and your tax-free accounts all work together. And that's exactly why we have Adam Buss on our team, head of wealth and estate planning, specializing just in this, estate planning, retirement planning, just to make sure the details are handled properly. The lesson here, check your paperwork and make sure that your spouse is listed as a successor holder, not just a beneficiary. And if you're leaving it to your children, understand that the tax treatment might be different. With the right estate planning, your TFSA can be one of the cleanest legacy assets in Canada. There will be some Canadians who will pass away with $1 million TFSAs, spitting out tax-free income forever. And that's unbelievable to think about. So there you have it. I've seen every one of these cost people thousands of dollars. But the good news is they're all preventable. If you want to see how your plan holds up, click the link below to join our retirement planning masterclass, or heck, book a call with me or someone from my team at speaktorob.com for a no obligation consultation. We'll look at your CPP, your OAS, your RSPs, and your TFSA and make sure your retirement lasts as long as you do. If you found value here, give this video a like. It really helps more Canadians see this content. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you're first to know when I release new strategies on tax planning, CPP, OAS, and retirement income. And if you've got questions about your TFSA, drop them in the comments. I'll read them and I'd love to hear what's on your mind. I'm Rob Tétrault. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.